So now we're going to use cross-hatching to develop this drawings a little bit further. Once you've made any corrections or of anything that looked like it was slightly off, the next thing to do is take your micron pens or your technical pens and start trying to describe your light and shadow masses. Okay, so for this case, I'm gonna look for the darker areas. So I see the legs are dark, there's shadow down here, there's darker areas here, but they're not as dark. Editing your photo is a good idea as well. And if there's any information that's missing, it'd be a good idea to include it. You can take your kneaded eraser and just lightly roll it over so that it takes off some of the darker values. That you used in your sketch, and that way when you start inking, none of that is going to interfere. You're going to erase most of the graphite anyway, but right now it's a good idea to just take it down a tad so it doesn't gum up the tip on the technical pen. Okay, again, I'm going to start with the darkest darks. So looking at my reference, the darkest darks going to be here. So with cross-hatching, what you're doing is creating a series of lines that intersect one another, and in the intersections they create darker value. This was a little bit neat. So look at the examples of cross-hatching and you'll notice that there's a whole range of possibility. It doesn't have to be perfect. You can go multiple directions, vertical, horizontal. The idea is that you're controlling the value by how much ink you apply in that space, right? So this leg is fully dark. Putting these marks close together creates the illusion of darkness, right? So I want to take care of these first. And this will be, something that you'll decide how much information you need and how much information you can let go of, and how you're going to make these marks, because some people are very particular about making the marks very well organized. I'm not that kind of person. I like my marks to be kind of chaotic, because there's already, on a technical drawing, there's already a lot of finesse. So for me, making these darker lines and sort of erratic lines is aesthetically more pleasing than making really precise marks. So I'm just trying to establish here some sense of light logic, and I'm not going fully black, so just having a bit of a range. And when it comes to detail, I'll probably slow down a little bit and take my time with that area. And you can use a ruler if you want. You don't have to just sort of freehand it. I like the way this looks, so I do it this way. Since I already have a graphite drawing on here, it's easy to just follow the spaces And now I can just kind of navigate the entire space and be either more particular or less particular about the marks that I'm making. So this texture of the basket, I might leave that alone for now. And all of these leaves here, I'll come back to that. I want to make sure that the structures look believable right now. The major areas are taken care of. Always keeping in mind that vanishing point back there. These lines are converging to that. And the way that this looks on this table, it's not a solid line. It's a line that's kind of broken. So I want to echo that. So you're just going to keep working on these areas, pushing your darks and making sure that you leave space for the lights as you start making the cross hatching. Uh, Whatever area you see that is touching a surface is going to take a darker line or a heavier line. Now when we see the finished version, you'll see that there's differences in textures, differences in values, and it's an impression of what we see in the original photograph, but it's not a complete representation of it. So take your artistic liberty, artistic license, and how you make some of these marks and what you decide to emphasize or work on and what you decide to leave out. And when you're done with the inking, just make sure that you go back and erase all of the graphite lines.